Good afternoon and welcome back to Rebel Report. And let me be the first to say, happy race week, everyone. I'm Olivia Lindsay.
Hope your drives aren't terrible, because be careful. I think I saw a Honda Civic tearing up the track on the strip this morning, but let's get right into it.
The Runnin' Rebels took on Pepperdine last night here at the MAC. Insider Matthew Felsenfeld has more.
Thank you, Olivia. The Running Rebels took on Pepperdine last night in their 4th game of the season. The Rebels took down Pepperdine last year in Malibu, so revenge was on the table. The Rebels started off the game hot, taking an early 10-point lead off fast breaks. The Rebels would double that lead as they would go up 35-15 with just 5 minutes left in the first. The Rebels finished off the period with a commanding lead of 46-17 heading into the second. The Rebels came out strong in the second half, not allowing Pepperdine to creep back into the game. Pepperdine would get a late push to get within 21 points, but that would not be enough as the Rebels would go on to win 80-59. The Rebels had 5 players go over the 10-point mark on the night. Here's what Coach Kruger had to say about the win.
I'm really happy with and proud of the guys for a really good first half and kind of the level of intent, and I think in a good way, kind of anxiety of figuring things out. You know, talking about, as we talked the last couple days, going in, we might see some lineups that haven't gotten many minutes together in games, if any.
The Rebels take on New Mexico State here at the MAC Saturday. Remember to donate some clothes to receive a long-sleeve UNLV shirt. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Matt. I want that shirt. Let's hope the Rebels can keep rolling into Saturday. The Skating Rebels are on the road this weekend, and AJ Reed has the latest.
3 games, 3 days. That's the challenge that awaits the Skating Rebels as they make the journey to Chicago this weekend.
We talked to our team about these next 2 weeks being really important. We'll get a break come Thanksgiving, so everybody's bought in right now. We got a great week of practice ahead of us here, and 3 really good tests for us in Chicago. I think when you look at the national tournament, you got to win, 4 games in 5 days, or sometimes you're winning 4 games in 4 days. So for us to be able to play 3 good teams in 3 days, it's a good prep for us early on.
The 3 teams on the docket are the Delaware Blue Hens, the number 2 Jamestown Jimmies, and the number 14 University of Mary Marauders. Starting with Delaware, the Blue Hens roll into Chicago with a potent offense, scoring 77 goals on the season so far. But it's been a bit of an up-and-down season for Delaware. They have struggled against some of the top teams after getting swept by Liberty and the University of Ohio. A potent UNLV power play will be on the watch list tonight, as Delaware will see some time in the box with 217 penalty minutes so far. Friday night is the main event. The Rebels take on the number 2 ranked University of Jamestown, and they are a formidable foe. Jamestown rolls in, allowing just 46 goals so far this season. It's a stingy defense that could present a big challenge for UNLV. However, the Skating Rebels' speed could pose a threat to some of the weaker parts on the Jamestown backline. Saturday in the park, it's the University of Mary, another top 25 team with championship aspirations. This is a team who has battled all season long, including a comeback win against Missouri State. But this being the 3rd game in as many days, UNLV will have to rely on their depth, which is something this team prides itself on. Look out for players like Tristan Rand, Bradley Gallant, and Matias Del Monte tonight to light the scoreboard up if UNLV has success this weekend. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you for that, AJ. Make sure to follow UNLV Rebel Hockey on social media for some updates. Puck drop against Delaware is tonight at 3:30 p.m. Kicking it over to basketball, the Lady Rebels had a home match with San Diego on Tuesday. Jack Bridges has the recap.
Where your very own Lady Rebels. Ladies and gentlemen, we are inside the Cox Pavilion where your very own Lady Rebels took on the San Diego Toreros in their 4th home matchup of the season. This matchup started close as the Lady Rebels entered the second quarter up by 5, but an explosive offensive effort following the first put this game out of reach early. Freshman forward Meadow Rowland has been a huge piece off the bench for the Lady Rebels. Rowland led the way for all scorers, tacking on 15 points and 9 rebounds en route to a Lady Rebel victory. UNLV would come out on top 88-54 to push their overall record to 4-1. It was an impressive outing for the Rebs. Head coach Lindy LaRocque had this to say about the redshirt freshman in the post-game press conference.
She's aggressive offensively. I'm really proud of how she's growing and getting even better defensively. And from a rebounding standpoint, she goes after the ball. And, so much of rebounding is just will and going and pursuing it.
The Lady Rebels' next matchup is this Friday, November 22nd, against the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma currently holds the 9th overall ranking in the country, so the Lady Rebels will need your support. Tip-off is at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time in the Thomas & Mack Center. My name is Jack Bridges, sending it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jack. Student tickets are available online, so be sure to get out there and support our Lady Rebels tomorrow.
Taking it from the court to the gridiron, the Rebels are looking for their 8th straight road victory. Here's Bryce Dowdy with more info.
Thanks, Olivia. Despite allegations of selling underwhelming pizza for $300, the UNLV Rebels dominated the San Diego State Aztecs last week 41-20, moving into the college football playoff rankings for the first time ever, debuting at the 24th spot. With an 8-2 record on the season, the Rebels are hungry to avenge last year's 37-31 loss as they face the San Jose State Spartans on Friday. Taking a peek at the Spartans game tape, they love to throw the ball more than most, boasting the nation's 4th-ranked passing attack with 343.7 yards per game. Despite UNLV's secondary having a difficult time guarding the deep ball, Jalen Catalon ranks 3rd in the nation with 5 interceptions. And since San Jose has thrown 14 so far this season, look for both of those numbers to go up. Looking at the other side of the ball, the Spartans have a weaker run defense, and Ashton Genty exposed that all last week. While the Rebels may not have somebody of his caliber in the backfield, they do average almost 250 rushing yards per game. With 8 touchdowns on the ground, look for Haj Malik Williams and the rushing attack to go off again this week. As the season nears its end, here's head coach Barry Odom on how he game plans for the last 2 games.
So for us to get our team where they need to be here over the course of the next few days, there's not enough time in the day to get it all done, but we're going to make enough time, and we owe it responsibly to our team to get that done.
Mountain West rankings, the Rebels still have a shot to make it to the title game, but need to win out and have Colorado State lose one of their next 2 games. Here's hoping that the Bulldogs from Fresno State can bring the boom this week and send the Rams to the pound. Throwing it back to you guys at the desk.
All of UNLV is standing behind you, Fresno State, and this is the only time I will ever say this. Go Bulldogs. Tune into Fox Sports 1 at 7 o'clock on Friday to cheer on your Rebels.
Maya Perez and Alexa Ibarra are back in the studio talking about the women's volleyball team. Let's see what they have to say.
Thank you guys for that exciting introduction, but let's get serious.
To kick us off, we are here with a recap of our women's volleyball game against that pack of pups. As predicted, the Rebels won and dominated with a 3-1 set win.
During the recent matchup, Chloe Thomas and Bajalaros both stood out, leading with 12 kills each.
UNLV's defense was just as impressive, with Gabrielle Oreche Ramos setting a career high of 14 digs.
Now we move on to today's game. The UNLV women's volleyball team faced the Air Force Falcons at 6:30 p.m. This is a home game, so make sure to go support at the Cox Pavilion tonight.
Last time these two played each other, the Rebels fell to the Falcons 1-3, but hope for that rematch win tonight. Let's look into this matchup.
Honestly, I think the Rebels could take the win tonight. I mean, you saw what happened against Fresno State. They were able to rebound from their loss to take the win the second time. Their numbers improved in almost everything. Points, kills, blocks, you name it.
I agree. The Rebels are averaging 16.39 points per set, while the Falcons average 13.97.
Chloe Thomas for the Rebels, however, has been leading in kills and had 12 last game. We can't wait to see what happens. Either way, good luck, Rebels.
Thank you, Alexa and Maya. And again, don't forget to support the women's volleyball team on their second to last game of the season. Big news for both women's and men's UNLV golf teams as they both signed new golfers for the 2025 season. On the men's team, head coach John Paul Herbert announced Nico Bencomo and Javier Santolaya will be joining the team. Being a standout from Florida, Bencomo brings national experience, including a runner-up finish at the 2023 Florida State 54-hole major. Meanwhile, Santolaya, a top prospect from Chile, has already racked up 4 Chilean Golf Federation titles and competed in international events like the IMG Academy Junior World Championship. On the women's side, head coach Amy Bush-Herzer also locked in 3 new signees, Yen Lu from New Tapai, Taiwan, Lana Yamagata from California, and Demi Du from China. All 3 women have numerous accolades on local, national, and international levels, including competing and placing in the FCG Junior Championship tournaments. Future is looking bright for UNLV golf. Stay tuned for the Rebels as they build success in 2025.
She was a beloved educator, Las Vegas City Council member, University Regent, mother, and wife to the legendary UNLV basketball coach Jerry Tarkanian. Lois Tarkanian served as a remarkable figure in Southern Nevada, spending 14 years on the Las Vegas City Council and 12 years on the Clark County School Board. Prominent figures including Senator Jackie Rosen, UNLV President Keith Whitfield, and former running Rebel and retired NBA player Greg Anthony took to social media to honor her legacy. Lois Tarkanian passed away Monday morning. She was 90.
Welcome back to the Rebel Report. Before we get into our next story on the Golden Knights, how's your hockey team doing, Olivia?
Well, 3 of the Canucks' best players are out, and Quinn Hughes is carrying so hard he'll probably be a scratch next game with back pain.
And now you feel a fraction of my suffering. If you enjoy money, you would have really enjoyed last night's Golden Knights game. Reporter Nathan Olson has the recap.
Yeah, that's right. The Golden Knights went to the bank last night. Scotia Bank Arena, that is, to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it was no cash grab for either team, as this game was filled with hard, heavy hits, including Zach Whitecloud absolutely leveling Matthew Nyes as he tried to slice his way through the neutral zone. Safe to say this did not help the tempers within the game. And on the other side of the puck, defenseman Shea Theodore was violently tossed into the boards by Nikita Grepkin. Youch. For the scoring in this game, the Maple Leafs cashed in first with a quick shot from the slot by Fraser Minton, marking his first career goal in the NHL. And on the power play, William Nylander finished off an on-man rush to extend the lead, and Pontus Holmberg tapped in an empty netter to finish it off. To beat the Knights tonight, it took a toonie and a loony, or $3 Canadian if that makes more sense to you. Final score, Maple Leafs 3, Golden Knights 0.
Ottawa Senators tonight at 4.
The Las Vegas Raiders have lost another game, which makes 6 in a row and possibly makes them cursed. They look to break that streak on Sunday as they play the Denver Broncos. With more on the game, I send it over to Ethan Kugler with the Raider Way.
In Week 5, the Denver Broncos demolished the Raiders, and now in their second game this season, the Raiders are looking for revenge. And to do that, they need to play a perfect offensive game, and that starts with keeping the ball safe. In their last matchup, the Raiders offense started off strong, but at some point, Minshew only wanted to throw the ball to the Broncos. Once that happened, it changed the game entirely. So the Raiders need to stay composed and protect the ball. The next step is giving the ball to Brock Bowers. I know it feels like I'm beating a dead horse, but dang it, Bowers is the real deal. He looked phenomenal this season, especially in his first matchup against the Broncos. So they need to continue giving him the ball because great things come with it. And finally, the Raiders offense needs to score more points. In their last game, they've improved the scoring department, but they've still struggled to find the end zone. And now they're about to play one of the best defenses in the league, which means the Raiders need to stop messing around and put up touchdowns, or this game will be over by 2 o'clock. So if the Raiders can pull through, they can break their losing streak. And if not, the depression continues. With all that said, I send it back to you guys at the desk.
The Raiders will look to get revenge against the Broncos this Sunday at 1:05 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium. And hopefully the Ethan curse will be broken.
You know, the Raiders were declined to win, just like how last semester when Ethan said his card got declined at McDonald's. And by the way, he said that live on air too, so. With the quarterfinals for the NBA's in-season tournament fast approaching, let's go to reporters Kevin and Cassidy for an update on Tuesday night's action.
The NBA Cup is halfway through group play as 12 teams faced off Tuesday with some real excitement early on in the slate. The Celtics kicked it off by handing the Cavs their first loss of the season after they became the 4th team ever to win their first 15 games. Jason Tatum posted 33, 12, and 7, and the Celtics clearly understand it now as they made 22 threes on 53% shooting on their way to a 120-117 win. Both teams level out at 1-1 in group play for East Group C, with 2 games left until playoff rounds. In East Group A, the Nets knocked off the Hornets behind 34 points for Cam Johnson, his most as a Net. Brandon Miller's fourth quarter effort kept the Hornets close, but Trenton Watford made big plays on both ends down the stretch and scored the final 7 points as the Nets came away with a W. If anyone was going to knock off the unbeaten Cavs, of course it was going to be the C's, huh, Cassidy?
Yep, that's what the defending champs do. You know, even if Darius Garland has a bad night, shooting, they just have to put it to him, and they showed again why they're the best team in the NBA. But moving over to the West Coast, in San Antonio, between the Spurs and the top-seeded Thunder, there was no battle of the bigs this time. No Cheddar Wemby, unfortunately, but this one still entertained. What was a close game at halftime bloomed into a surprising San Antonio rally behind their bench play. Charles Bassey had multiple transition dunks, and Keldon Johnson had 22 to give the Spurs a 21-point lead early in the 4th. The Thunder did mount a late run to bring the game close, but it was the wily vet Chris Paul sinking the wing dagger 3 to finish the Thunder off. Spurs win in the end, 110-104. Then, in the nightcap, the Lakers looked to continue their perfect season in the in-season tournament against the Jazz. LeBron and AD did their thing, but it was rookie Dalton Knecht who stole the show. Knecht 4 connected on 9 threes, at one point scoring 22 straight for the Lakers in a 5-minute burst en route to a rookie season-high 37 points. The 9 threes by Knecht are the most by a Laker rookie and ties the overall NBA record. The scoring outburst put the Lakers up comfortably, allowing them to coast to a 124-118 victory.
Thank you guys so much for that recap. And with those games, the Thunder moved to 1-1 in their group, and the Lakers remain undefeated.
It was an exciting year of action in the MLB. Ryan Gilder, live in studio, breaks down the winners of the 2024 MLB Awards.
It's awards week for the 2024 Major League Baseball season. On Monday, the Rookie of the Years were handed out to Paul Skeens in the NL and Luis Gil in the AL. This is the first time since 1981 when both Rookie of the Years are starting pitchers. On Tuesday, Stephen Vogt won Manager of the AL and Pat Murphy won Manager of the NL. Yesterday, the Cy Young Awards were handed out to Tarek Skubal in the AL and Chris Sale in the NL. Tonight, the MVPs will be announced, and the frontrunners are Shohei Ohtani representing the NL and Aaron Judge for the AL. Ohtani's 50-50 season should make him the first designated hitter in history to an MVP, and Aaron Judge hit 58 home runs, a career-high .322 batting average, to rise back to MVP. Back to Brandon and Olivia at the desk.
Thanks, Ryan. The MVPs will be announced after Rebel Report at 3 p.m. on MLB Network. And when we come back, the girlies of Rebel Report sat down and discussed the waves women are making in sports.
Welcome back to this special edition of Rebel Report. For the first time ever, we have our all-female panel. Starting from the top, we have Deborah, who is talking about the WNBA. We have Alexa, who has covered women's volleyball throughout the season. And we have Maya, the star of Maya's Minute. So let's start off with you, Deborah. How has the WNBA changed this year?
I would say it's been a historical season, and I would say the main point of that is it's just all of the college players that have now come into the league. They've broken so many records, and it's just incredible to see.
Yes, especially with Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson this season,
yes.
And especially the Olympics. There's so many things to talk about.
I agree, and with the Olympics, it's just really good to see. Women's basketball, continuously to grow within the Olympics. Back in 2020 with the Tokyo Olympics, a new concept was introduced, and which is pretty much 3-on-3 women's basketball. So you had some of the best stars come out, which was Kelsey Plum and Jackie Young, and they won the gold that year. So it was very exciting to see. And then in 2024 with the Paris Olympics, it was a different story. USA took bronze that year. However, though, the roster did look a lot different, which I liked, because not only was it WNBA players, but it was also college athletes that you had. So you had a big name like Haley Van Leith from TCU. It was unfortunate, to see them fall. However, though, just to see her be in the Olympics for the first time ever was just incredible all around for, women's sports. And I can't wait to see just the coverage continue to grow more and more with the possibilities.
Now I know that, Alexa, the Olympics has also impacted your sport that you want to cover.
Yes, so first of all, I just want to say I'm honored to be here speaking on women's sports. And as Deborah mentioned, the Olympics has been significantly rising and improving when it comes to women's sports and opportunities. And a sport I wanted to mention today is women's flag football, which is planned to make its launch at the summer 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And USA Football also holds our national women's tackle team and claims their 4th straight win since 2022 as they won the World Championship title against Great Britain, and they actually won 42-14 in the gold medal game. One of the women flag football players that I look up to and would like to talk about is Diana Flores, who made her name known playing for the Mexico football team and also has an NFL commercial. She does inspire a lot of athletes on the perception of women in sports, and she encourages people to overcome barriers and overcome gender and cultural barriers. So.
Now, Maya, you have a minute left to talk about women's UFC.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for having me. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity to spread more awareness about the growing viewership in women's UFC. Now, originally it has lower viewership because most watch for the men's because they assume that men's is more powerful, and because of the higher weight classes, there's more powerful knockouts, more powerful plays, and they think that women can't do that as much because they don't have that much weight on them to be able to achieve that. But I think that from now on that women will, especially because of last Saturday's fight, that from now on women will have more coverage. And another reason that UFC women's has lower viewership is because they did start way after UFC was first invented. They started in 2013, so they didn't have the chance to grow the legacy and the star power that the men's UFC does have. Nevertheless, UFC fighters, women, continue to make strides in growing their viewership by using marketing, promoting their social medias. They promote what they train. They train the same exact way as men do, so why aren't they getting the same coverage? But if they continue to promote, then and market, their viewership should be able to grow as much as the men's, if not even more someday.
So thank you so much, everyone, for watching this special edition of Rebel Report, and we'll see you right after the break.
Welcome back to the Rebel Report. As many of you know, I have a love-hate situationship with soccer, and I mean, especially my national team. But the one thing I have undying love for are local teams. The Las Vegas Legends, a semi-professional soccer team, is playing in the NISA National Regional Final this Sunday. An incredible season. The Las Vegas Legends have made history by going undefeated in the NISA Nation League with a record of 26 wins, 2 ties, and 0 losses. This remarkable achievement has increased the attendance of fans and set the stage for an exciting regional final. The Legends will compete for the championship on Sunday, November 24th with kickoff at 1:30 p.m. Unity View TV will broadcast this highly anticipated game on their YouTube channel, ensuring fans don't miss a moment of the action. Tune into youtube.com/@UnityViewTV to witness a thrilling conclusion to an unforgettable season. We're excited to see the outcome of this championship, but will the Las Vegas Legends seal the deal? And then still on the subject of the beautiful sport of soccer, let's go across the pond to Europe where Alex has more on the Premier League.
Here's a quick fire preview of this weekend's biggest Premier League fixtures. We are currently on match day 12. We have Manchester City versus Tottenham. City are currently on a 4-game losing streak for the first time since 2006. We also have Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. There is a matchup between number 4 and number 5, which should be good. Chelsea will take on Leicester City, which should be a comfortable win for Chelsea. First place Liverpool will take on Southampton, who is currently at the bottom of the table at 20th place. And lastly, Ipswich Town is set to take on Manchester United. That's all for this weekend's recap. Back to you at the desk.
These are some exciting matchups. Thank you, Alex. And honestly, I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is Raúl Jiménez finally surpassing Chicharito's goal in the Premier League. And I mean, that's got me excited after seeing the deception that was Mexico versus Honduras. And I heard you have deception for F1 coming to Las Vegas, so.
Well, a little bit. The commute, so annoying. I'm trying to get here, but you know. Well, you got a minute waiting in F1 traffic? Because I do. Well, we've got a minute just for you. UNLV Sports, here's Maya's Minute.
Welcome back to Maya's Minute. Today we'll be covering 6 sports, 8 games. Let's break it down. November 22nd, swim and dive will be at the Trojan Diving Invitational, which will actually continue through the 24th. Next, we have the Lady Rebels playing the Oklahoma Sooners at 6:30 p.m. They're giving out free Raisin Canes, and I can't wait to get mine. Shortly after, football will be playing out of town against the San Jose State Spartans at 7 p.m. On the 23rd, women's cross country will be competing in the NCAA Championships. And later that day at 1 o'clock, women's volleyball will be playing in the New Mexico Lobos, while the Runnin' Rebels take on the New Mexico State Aggies. Next, we jump to the 27th. The Lady Rebels will be playing in the UNLV Thanksgiving Classic against the UCF Knights at 12 p.m. To end the week, Thanksgiving, the Runnin' Rebels will be playing in the Arizona Tip-Off Tournament against Mississippi State at 6:30 p.m. That's all the time we have. Enjoy your Thanksgiving break, Rebs.
Thanks, Maya. Let's hope that we get some early Christmas presents in the form of Rebel wins. Back to F1. This race, it's happening again.
I mean, you're a NASCAR fan, I take it, right? Like 100% through and through?
100% through and through. NASCAR has my whole heart. This F1 race, though, I mean, is it going to be more of the same as we've seen before?
But,
do we think it's going to be?
The only racing I've seen is like Disney Pixar cars. I'm not even going to lie, dude. Lightning McQueen, 7 piston cups to go. I mean, we argued about this a couple days ago, and I still think I'm right.
And you're wrong, because the King, he's called the King for a reason. And Doc Hudson, get out of here.
We have like another LeBron MJ situation. Lightning McQueen's to go to the Piston Cup, and now I will die on that hill.
Thanks for tuning in to Rebel Report. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Spend time with your families and enjoy the time off.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for the season finale of Rebel Report.